Listen closely because what you are about to hear is the most dangerous breaking news of our time. The world has just crossed a red line. Iran has slammed United States military bases with a monster weapon, the giant Khorramshahr-4 ballistic missile. This is not a drill. This is happening right now, today, and it is changing the map of the Middle East forever. Imagine a weapon so huge, so heavy, and so incredibly fast that nothing in the sky can stop it. That is exactly what rained down on American forces today. Before we go deep into the smoke and the fire of this massive strike, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. You need to stay glued to this channel. The world is changing by the minute, and subscribing is the only way you will get the absolute raw truth right as it happens. Do it now because you do not want to miss a single detail of this story. Now, let us look at the absolute destruction taking place over the last few hours. Reports and satellite images have confirmed the unthinkable. Iran did not just send cheap drones or small rockets, they pulled out their ultimate weapon. The Khorramshahr-4 is a heavyweight nightmare. It carries a warhead weighing nearly 2 tons. Just think about that. 2 tons of high explosives dropping from the edge of space at 16 times the speed of sound. When this giant missile slammed into the U.S. Al Dhafra base in the United Arab Emirates, the earth shook. Satellite pictures show a massive crater 10 meters deep. An entire block of buildings was wiped off the face of the base in a single blink of an eye, and it did not stop there. The attacks spread like wildfire, hitting bases in Qatar, Bahrain, and Iraq. The sky is filled with thick black smoke, and warning sirens are screaming across the entire region. Why is this happening today? After days of heavy strikes back and forth, Tehran decided to unleash its most feared weapon. The Khorramshahr-4 uses special liquid fuel that lets it sit ready to fire in deep underground tunnels. When the order is given, it takes only 12 minutes to launch. 12 minutes. That gives American air defense systems almost zero time to react. Once it is in the air, it is a ghost. The missile guides itself outside the Earth's atmosphere, completely ignoring electronic jamming. Then it dives down like a meteor, changing direction midair so that interceptor missiles just swipe at empty space. This is why the damage today is so severe, and why the military world is holding its breath. The unthinkable has happened. The unbreakable shield has been shattered. For years, the United States military built massive fortresses across the Middle East. They brought in their absolute best defense systems, telling the world nothing could get through. But today, the giant Khorramshahr-4 missile broke that promise into a million pieces. When massive alarms started blaring at major American bases in Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, soldiers barely had time to run for underground bunkers. Eyewitnesses reported the sky literally turning bright orange. The Iranian missiles did not just hit the ground in one solid piece. High above the clouds, the giant warhead split open, releasing dozens of highly explosive cluster bombs. It was like a massive shotgun blast firing from space. The American defense systems were completely overwhelmed. They fired back, painting the night sky with interceptor rockets. But there were simply too many targets raining down at once. This is the kind of raw, uncut truth that can only be found right on this channel. The regular news networks are scrambling to hide the panic, but the exact facts are being delivered here while the fires still burn. You must subscribe to the channel right now. This dangerous situation is being updated minute by minute. Subscribing is the only way to stay ahead of this global chaos. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because this story is moving faster than anyone ever predicted. Now let the focus shift to Bahrain, the home of the United States Navy's mighty Fifth Fleet. It is the absolute center of American power on the water. Today, it became a burning target. Heavy ballistic missiles rained down from the sky, shaking the entire capital city. Huge black clouds of smoke are rising from the military zones. The pure power of these giant Khorramshahr-4 missiles created shockwaves that shattered glass windows miles away. Think about the dark message Iran is sending. They are no longer hiding in the shadows by launching their heaviest and most destructive weapons directly at American bases. They are screaming to the whole world that they are ready for a massive war. They are proving their secret underground missile cities are fully loaded and ready to fire again. Top military experts are in absolute shock. Seeing these weapons used in a coordinated strike across multiple countries is a nightmare coming to life. International airports are in total panic as burning debris falls. The whole region is locked down. What happens next? The United States will never just sit back and watch its bases burn. The counterattack is already being planned. The world is standing on the absolute edge of a cliff. The devastation does not stop at the water's edge. Now we must look at what just happened in the deserts of Kuwait and Iraq. Deep inside these countries, American soldiers at Camp Arifjan and the Victoria Base thought they were safe behind layers of thick concrete and heavy blast doors. But the Khorramshahr-4 missile does not care about concrete. It crushes it like dry leaves. Reports are flooding in right this very second, showing massive burning craters where vital command centers used to stand just hours ago. These are not small, lucky strikes by amateur fighters in the desert. This is a master class in absolute terrifying destruction. The Iranian military launched these monster missiles in a perfectly timed wave, entirely overwhelming the most advanced radar systems on the planet. By the time the panic alarms finally sounded in Baghdad and Kuwait, the sky was already raining fire. It is a shocking display of raw, unstoppable power. You are hearing the unfiltered truth right here, right now, as the smoke rises and the politicians scramble in secret rooms to hide the real damage. This channel is cutting straight through the lies. If you want to know exactly what is happening before the rest of the world even wakes up, you need to subscribe right now. Do not wait for the evening news to give you a watered down story. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because the truth is moving fast and you simply cannot afford to be left behind in the dark. Look closely at how this massive attack was actually pulled off today. Iran did not just press a single button in an open field. They used their secret underground missile cities. These are deep, dark tunnels carved into solid mountains, completely hidden from the best spy satellites. For years, the world wondered what was truly hiding deep inside those mountains. Today, the mountain opened its mouth and spat out a firestorm. Because these heavy Khorramshahr-4 missiles use a special liquid fuel that can be stored for long periods, they were already sitting in their launch tubes, fully loaded and deadly, the exact moment the order came down. Heavy metal doors slid open on the sides of the mountains, and these 2-ton nightmares shot into the sky in a blinding flash of light. Now the entire Middle East is completely paralyzed. The global markets are shaking. Giant cargo ships are turning around in the ocean, absolutely terrified to enter the danger zone. The invincible shield has been pierced, and the whole world is holding its breath, waiting for the massive retaliation that is sure to follow. The red line has not just been crossed today, it has been completely erased in a sea of fire. The panic in the corridors of power is deafening right now. Deep inside the Pentagon, emergency meetings are happening behind locked doors. Generals and defense chiefs are staring at screens blinking red across the map of the Middle East. They are trying to figure out how the most expensive early warning systems in the history of the world were beaten so easily today. The answer lies in the terrifying brain of the giant Khorramshahr-4 missile. This is not just a dumb rocket flying blindly through the air. It is a highly intelligent machine of pure destruction. As it leaves the Earth's atmosphere, the missile does something no defense system expects. It completely turns off its engines and glides in the cold darkness of space. It goes entirely silent, making it practically invisible to standard radar. Then, as it begins its fiery dive back down towards its target, tiny thrusters on the warhead fire up. It dances and weaves through the sky. It drops decoys, creating a cloud of fake targets. The American defense batteries down below lock onto the ghosts, firing millions of dollars into empty air, while the real 2-ton monster slips right through the cracks and hits the ground with the force of a massive earthquake. You are getting the pure, unfiltered breakdown of this global crisis right here, while the mainstream media is still trying to piece together broken political statements. This channel is handing you the hard facts of this terrifying new reality. You must hit that subscribe button right now. The events unfolding today will affect every single corner of the globe, and you need a reliable source that cuts through the noise. Subscribe and turn on the alerts, because you cannot afford to miss the next update as this dangerous situation grows. Now look at the absolute terror of the surrounding nations. They are completely frozen in fear. Countries that host American bases are suddenly realizing they have massive targets painted on their backs. They thought the United States military was an unbreakable umbrella of protection. Today, they watch that umbrella get shredded to pieces in broad daylight. The skies over the Persian Gulf are entirely empty of civilian airplanes. The giant oil tankers that feed the entire world have dropped anchor, absolutely terrified to move. The sea is quiet, but it is the terrifying quiet before an even bigger storm. Iran has shown its deadliest hand by using the Khorramshahr-4. They have proven they have a giant sword that can reach hundreds of miles in minutes. The balance of power has just been flipped entirely upside down. The next move belongs to Washington, and the expected retaliation will be like nothing we have ever witnessed. Right now, Washington is scrambling to answer the biggest military humiliation of the modern era. The Situation Room inside the White House is locked down tight. The president and top military commanders are staring at a completely altered map of the Middle East for decades. The United States relied on its massive network of bases to keep the peace and Project Absolute Power. Today, those bases are pulling wounded soldiers from underneath of crushed concrete and twisted metal. The giant Khorramshahr-4 missile has forced the most powerful military on Earth into a terrifying corner. Do you want to wait for tomorrow's newspaper to tell you what happened? Absolutely not. By tomorrow, the world might look entirely different. This channel is tracking the military movements right this very second. You must hit that subscribe button immediately. The mainstream outlets are terrified to show you the full picture of this massive escalation. Subscribing here is your only guarantee to stay informed with raw, unedited facts as the drums of war beat louder than ever. Do it now and turn on those notifications. Look at how the United States is being forced to react. They cannot just launch a simple airstrike to fix this. Iran has changed the entire game. Intelligence reports are confirming that the Iranian military has rolled out dozens more of these massive Khorramshahr-4 missiles from their underground bunkers. They are sitting on their launch pads, completely fueled and pointing straight up at the sky. If Washington orders a massive bombing run on Tehran, Iran has promised to launch an absolute tidal wave of these 2-ton monsters in response. The United States Navy is already pulling its aircraft carriers further out into the ocean. Why? Because an aircraft carrier is a floating city of billions of dollars. And even the Navy knows that a direct hit from a Khorramshahr-4 warhead would snap a carrier right in half. The sheer panic is undeniable. Air bases in Europe are suddenly firing up their B-2 stealth bombers. The giant planes are being loaded with bunker-busting bombs, the only weapons capable of cracking open the solid granite mountains where Iran hides these deadly missiles. But time is running out. The world is watching the clock tick down to zero. The Middle East is a powder keg that has just been lit on fire, and every single nation is bracing for the ultimate clef explosion. The shockwaves of these massive missile strikes are not just breaking concrete, they are shattering the entire global economy. Look past the burning military bases for just 1 second and watch what is happening to the rest of the world right now. The global markets are in an absolute freefall. Oil prices are shooting straight up into the sky, faster than the rockets themselves. The world relies on the Middle East for its daily energy, and today that vital lifeline is completely covered in thick black smoke. Major shipping companies are ordering their massive vessels to turn around immediately. Nobody is brave enough to sail through the danger zone when giant Khorramshahr-4 missiles are raining down from space. The mainstream media is desperately trying to calm everyone down, but the truth is bleeding out right here. You are getting the absolute raw reality of a world on the brink. If you are not subscribed to this channel yet, you are walking entirely blind into a dangerous future. Hit that subscribe button right this second. Turn on the notification bell. You need a trusted source that refuses to water down the facts. The news changes every single minute, and this is the only place delivering the hard, uncut truth. Do not miss what happens next, because the situation is escalating incredibly fast. Now, think about the ultimate nightmare scenario keeping world leaders awake in the dark. The Khorramshahr-4 is not just deadly because of its massive size, it is deadly because of its extreme range. Iran has drawn a massive red circle across the map, proving they can hit absolutely anything. What happens if the next wave of these giant missiles aims straight for the massive oil refineries that keep the modern world running? The devastation would be unimaginable. Factories would stop, entire countries would go entirely dark, gasoline would become a rare luxury in a matter of hours. Neighboring nations are totally paralyzed with fear. The sky above them is a literal highway for heavy ballistic weapons. Commercial airlines have canceled every single flight into the region. Airports are packed with terrified people looking to pat blank departure screens. The invincible military shield is officially broken. The oceans are frozen with fear, and the countdown to an unstoppable global war is ticking louder than ever. The entire world is holding its breath for the sunrise, but nobody knows if tomorrow will bring an answer or just more fire. This is the moment the history books will talk about. We are no longer waiting for a war. We are watching the opening moves of a massive global conflict. Right now, new reports are flashing across the screen. The damage from the giant Khorramshahr-4 missiles is far worse than anyone admitted. It has just been confirmed that these monster weapons slammed into the highly guarded Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, severely damaging multiple American refueling planes at the Al Dhafra base in the Emirates. Satellite pictures now show a massive crater right in the middle of a heavily defended military zone. The unbreakable shield has completely fallen apart. Do not let the mainstream media blind you to what is coming next. They are softening the news to stop a global panic. But this channel is dedicated to the absolute hard truth. If you have not subscribed yet, you are making a massive mistake. Hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on the bell. As this war explodes across the Middle East, this is the only place you will find the raw facts delivered the second they happen. Do it now because the updates are coming fast and they are terrifying. Look at the terrifying threat Iran just issued to the world. They know Washington is preparing a massive counterattack. In response, Tehran has pointed its remaining Khorramshahr-4 missiles directly at the biggest energy hubs on the planet. They promise to burn every oil and gas site in the region if the United States strikes back. Oil prices are already skyrocketing. Giant cargo ships are trapped in the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran unleashes another wave of these massive 2-ton missiles, the entire global economy will grind to a dead stop. The strategy is clear. Iran is using the Khorramshahr-4 to hold the entire world hostage. They proved today that their underground missile cities are real. Their weapons are incredibly accurate, and their giant warheads cannot be stopped by modern air defenses. The countdown is officially over. The giant sleeping bear in the Middle East has woken up, and it is breathing heavy fire. The maps are being redrawn today in smoke and ash. Stay alert, stay informed, and keep your eyes wide open. The world as you knew it yesterday is gone, and a very dangerous new reality has just begun.